Alright, we're on the draw. This is a black-blue version of my Seer the Blue Moon list. It unfortunately can't side into splits and is more susceptible to J-Ruler strategies, since the only way we can really deal with them is to side into Death Scythe and hit them with Space-Time Anomalies or attacks. But I do like this one better, and that's mostly because it's more uh, constructive than destructive, and I'll explain what that means over the course of this video. We're on the draw, so we mull for Executioner regardless, but this hand is a little awkward, but thankfully we can turn 2, set the Prison, assuming we have a Dark Depths. But we also have two draws between turn 2 as well. Now, what I meant by destructive versus constructive, the black-red version of this deck was more destructive, as in you played things like, well, not Flame Outer World, but you played things like Haster. I already mulled as if I was on the draw, so we might as well just go. But you play things like Haster that are destructive, but the issue is that you're not being constructive. So you're playing a deck that wants to play a long grinding game, sort of like this control deck. But the only way you're going to last is if you're doing things that are constructive, like drawing more cards. Because if you're getting 2-for-1s, if you're playing Carmilla killing a dude, and then they're playing card to kill Carmilla, you took out 2 things with 1 card, or with your 1 Carmilla. But that's not as good, or that doesn't really pay off as well, unless you're also playing constructive cards that draw, say like Cheshire Cat or Space-Time Anomaly. Those cards will draw you cards, and over the course of a long game, you'll pull ahead that way instead of just trying to pull ahead naturally on 1 card per turn, or 1 card per turn on your draw phase. So the other thing about that, like normally that would be fine to be destructive. But what happens if you're playing against a constructive deck? Say you're playing stuff like Carmilla and you're getting those 2-for-1s, but your opponent is playing like Cheshire Cat, Familiar of Holy Winds, and cards that just draw cards. Well, then you have a problem because you're kind of balancing out their constructive deck by being destructive, but you're not actually pulling ahead. And that's where you have to that's like where things get awkward, at least with the black-red version, is because you're not drawing extra cards, so you're not actually your ability to pull ahead is a lot lower. Against a constructive deck that is drawing extra cards and stuff like that, what happens is you go even. And the whole point of playing control is that you don't go even. That you pull ahead, you 2-for-1 them, you get extra value, and then at some point they're like in top deck mode and you're not. You have a bunch of cards in hand, you have options, and you take over the game from there. But that doesn't happen if they're playing a constructive deck with a lot of card draw, and you don't have that sort of card draw to back it up, because then it's just like, well, what's he playing here? He tapped 4. But yeah, you get my drift. I'm not going to continue on that little charade there. Oh no, it's because the Ruler's Memoria came into play tapped, so go ahead and do this. We're going to kill the Prisha here, and I'm going to take 5. Let's see. Alright, so we have the lake set. What we're going to want to do is play our Lora, grab another Lora, and then, so we're going to attack him first, and then we're going to play our Lora, and then Thoughtseize him. Let's go ahead and tap. Well, let's tap the ones that have least impact. So here, this is an example of a constructive card, Lora versus Rasputin, which is more destructive. Like sure, you can pay 2 life to get it back in your hand, but Lora actually adds a card to your hand. It's the best way to think about it. And then we're going to incarnate these things. Okay, so out of these, we want to take the one that Because feasting I don't care as much about. We can deal with the feasting, we can deal with the zero. In fact, both of these hit feasting and zero, so we're gonna hit foment here. Foment allows him to resculpt his hand. So hitting foment gives us a little bit of an edge there, in that we don't have to deal with the fact that we don't know what his hand is anymore. So he has a thunder. Okay, so he's actually going through the process of hiding cards. So thunder, zeros, feast. So we know what his hand is in its entirety. And I don't know why he just unrevealed one of them, but I generally like to keep my hand revealed to my opponent if they thought sees me. Obviously, like, untap automatically keeps new cards that you drawn unknown to your opponent. And I feel like in a real game, my opponent would write down my hand anyway. So it's better to just be that nice, courteous kind of person and just be like, okay, well, you have it, or at least you can see what my hand is because you already know what it is. So Judgment on Gill Lapis. He's gonna get a Pitch Black Moon. This will allow him to get pressure back if he wants to. So Gill Lapis doesn't have it doesn't have flying. Gill Lapis can flip back though, and what he's probably looking to do is God's Art next turn. Now if he God's Art, he's gonna get a barrier and he's probably gonna get a Lucifer. So we want to be prepared for that. This will hit the Lucifer and kill it, so his God's Art won't be very impactful in my opinion. And I think that's our best line here, is to just probably play a Lucifer. We could play Carmilla, but Lucifer is a little more generic in that your opponent just banishes a dude, whereas Carmilla is targeted. So I don't like doing that. I want to be more general. If I want to be efficient here, so playing the Lucifer, getting his Moonbreeze Elf off is better than playing Carmilla, because later I might need to target something specifically. So I guess what he's doing here is he's gonna grab the pressure back. Yeah, he grabbed the pressure back. Now, if he plays the pressure here, I think what I do is I just block it. So what he's going to try to do is probably, okay, so there's 12. Oh, there's 14 actually. And I think I can race just with the life gain here. I think I just win here, because what happens is I can crash these into Gill, and because I have the prison, then if he gets like a Lucifer from my deck, then it's not going to matter. So my prediction is that he's going to get the Lucifer, because everything else is like an enter ability and it's not going to do anything. The only thing that has like an effect that really matters here is getting my Lucifer. Now, because he tapped the Earth here, he's not going to be able to activate to flip back over unless he has another Earth in hand. So this means I can crash my dudes into his Gill Lapis and kill it permanently. Now, unfortunately, that means both my guys are gonna die to kill Gill Lapis, which does give him a significant sort of like, okay. So he's gonna get another pitch black moon. He's gonna bring him up to like 16. I guess he doesn't want the barrier here, so he's gonna get that. So here's Gill Lapis is 16, still within range of us just killing it. And I'm completely fine with that. What we're going to do is we're going to swing at Lucifer. It's going to take 8. And then we're going to swing here. We're going to give ourselves life gain. We're going to go back up to 30. We've effectively killed his Gill Lapis. And then, well, we have several options here. We can leave up stoning, which I like leaving up stoning because it allows us to be more mana efficient. We could play the Lora here, grab the Carmilla, but it doesn't seem as effective to do that. Because we can stoning at the end of his turn or at the beginning of our turn and then play Lora anyway. So he's going to do that. And that's another reason, because if he plays the Prisha, then we just end up taking 5. Of course, Prisha is very good with Pitch Black Moon if we don't have a way to like gain life. So I expect him to just play a sort of race type game. And if that's what he's doing, we can actually just jam a Lucifer, and then if he ditches something to play Prisha, again, we can just kill it with Space-Time Anomaly, take the 5, swing for 9, gain that life, and win the race that way. And I think that's an effective way to do it. Because if he's effectively going to tap out every turn, like he's behind on resources because he played because he judgmented so early. And so, I mean, he's only down like 1 mana, but he was on the play, so he's effectively he's effectively trying to go even with us. Okay, so here I presume he's going to be attacking me as a way to like force damage through. This allows me to draw a card, and I can kill it with Executioner next turn. We've got ways to just keep killing Prisha, and we can just keep gaining life. So unless he plays, he has a Pitch Black Moon on us, or our Pitch Black Moon, so we don't have access to it. He could have a Demon Flame in hand, and I wish I had a Nyarlathotep to really see it. Yeah, and I guess if that's the case, then what happens is we're just gonna have to. Well, he's also down on cards, so I think we can still stabilize here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and set the Executioner. We can just like jam an Arthur. So this way his Prisha is only gonna hit us for like 5 anyway. And then could get another Carmilla, but that seems like it doesn't do anything. So I think what we're essentially trying to do is just race him really hard. And this should work. If he's just gonna keep discarding like new Resonators to get back his Prisha, I think we can still win that race. Unfortunately, he now has enough to cast Feat Seeing and the Prisha if he calls Stone. So there is that. Yeah, he can cast the Feasting. But unfortunately for him, our board's going to be building up. Whereas his board is just continually a Prisha. So I think we can definitely we can still win the race here, in my opinion. Now that we have a Cheshire Cat, we can just block with the Cheshire Cat if need be. Swing for 10. He's probably gonna play the Feasting. Swing for 5 here. So he's now down to 15 as well. What we can do here is we can play Cheshire Cat, see if it resolves. I presume it does. So we can go ahead and do this. Sign the Future is never going to cast. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. Play one of these things. Further tax him on mana, although it's less of a thing at this point. Let's see. And we'll go ahead and play Nyarlathotep to get what's in his hand out of it. Yeah, he wants to go ahead and get rid of that Thunder. And then he has to hope that he top decks like a Resonator, I presume. Yeah, he has to top deck a Resonator. Otherwise, then if he doesn't top deck a Resonator, he just kind of loses here, as he has literally no more gas. And we, yeah. I don't know what to call this. Alright, so here, Sign was terrible. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the signs. We're going to want some number of death sites. Yeah, some number of death sites here. Probably just run 2 death sites. I don't think I want to run too many stonings. The rest seems fine to me. I might want to run a Hera. Let's see, if I run a Hera, like the Bears are better than Hera in this matchup. Hera would have hit that Artemis bow, so he is playing stuff that you can't just sack in response. So I think one Hera might be good. I don't know if it's better than the Death Side. The Death Side doesn't do anything except take out Swiftness from his J Resonator, so I think this is how we want to go about it. I do want to actually finish my sideboard at some point, but yeah. I think this Gill Lapis deck, would I call it Gill Lapis aggro? I'm not quite sure what to call this whenever I make the video. Do I just call this like Gill Lapis tempo? It's not really tempo per se. It's just kind of like Gill Lapis. Well, he was running stuff like Thunder, so Gill Lapis Midrange? I don't. Jeez, I don't even know. I'll just call it like Gill Lapis. Yeah, midrange. That's probably the best name for it. Here, stonings are gonna go on bottom first, followed by Space-Time Anomaly, followed by. I think the Nyarlathotep's better here in this matchup than the Arthur. Okay, so this isn't the best start, but it's. We want to have an execution opening hand. The prison is not bad, but it's dependent on us hitting Dark Depths, and I know he's gonna like open Moonbreeze Elf into like Prisha, so we really want the execution opening hand. And it's surprising to not hit it in our opening, like opening 10. We might hit it in our first draw. That would be a good time to hit it. We'll see. Yeah, him not having a Regalia was actually really good for us last time. Let's see. I'm just gonna call his deck Gill Lapis like mid-range because it's playing a bunch of like kind of control-ish cards, but it's not really aggro. It's playing like Feed Seeing and Prisha. Prisha's more like an aggro. Yeah, Prisha's more aggro, but like this is kind of like a I don't know, just like mid-range good stuff deck. I don't know. He didn't open Moonbreeze Elf, which is really good for us. We're gonna go ahead and set this thing. We have two Lucifers, which his deck is not aiming to kill us as fast as possible, so this means that we are gonna drop Lucifers, and assuming we hit, what is it, 2 out of 9 stones now? One of our 2 stones that can tap for Moon, we can start gaining a life, and that is pretty good when it comes to winning the race. Yeah, so he has a Pitch Black Moon online already. So far, our draws have not been very impressive at all. Can't really cast anything in this hand. We can't even activate our prison, so that's just a side effect of us building a deck that does not lose to Split Heaven and Earth. And it's another thing because it feels like I'm handicapping myself when everyone else isn't, because half the decks I play on here can't be a Split Heaven and Earth. Like they actually just can't. And so I feel like they're playing decks that aren't actually viable in this meta, whereas I'm playing a deck that would be viable in this meta, and that kind of infuriates me a little bit. Granted, you can have situations like this where you call nothing but like black stones, and you have only like 4 drops in your hand. So maybe the 4-drop count in my deck should be reevaluated. Maybe I need to go down to 1 Carmilla. That's completely a possibility. I believe I have 4 Stoning to Death in the deck. Let me check. Do I have 4? Okay, I have 3. Maybe I need to go up to 4 and cut a Carmilla. And I think that's probably pretty good because even though Carmilla is better against Refrain later on, I don't like this situation is really awkward for me because I need to be more considering of my curve if I can. So here he might just have the game based on what happens. Okay, so here's Dark Depths. See if we can cast a Cheshire Cat here. I presume it's going to resolve. This will at least buy us some time. Well, out of these, I think the Carmilla is probably the worst. We'll go ahead and drop one of these. Set this face down. So now we can trigger everything. Like, actually everything. Now that we have our mana up. But yeah, if that Carmilla was actually Stoning Death, it would have been a lot better. So this deck is like Gill Lapis Prisha. Yeah, he could Judgment this turn. Yeah. Can't Judgment now, but we'll see. we don't want the Carmilla in our deck, so go ahead and get rid of that. Remind him of his actual life total here. Play another Cheshire Cat so we can chump the next pressure that comes down. Ooh, it's actually not bad. Do I want to put one of the Lucifers on top? I think I put one of the Lucifers on top. There's some pretty cool plays we can make here. So it's going to cost him 4 to Judgment at minimum. I don't think playing... No, we'll go ahead and cast a Lucifer. Go ahead and get that pressure off the field. And then pass here. I might have needed to attack the Executioner there, but he can play 2 Precious this turn. And he's running red. He could run a number of things this turn. So I just need to be wary about what he can do here. Now the God's Art costs 4. If he Judgments this turn, the God's Art's gonna cost 5. I could drop Barrier next turn, which means God's Art would cost 6, and he wouldn't be able to God's Art me. But I'm not really worried too much about a God's Art, because if he does do it, I Prison, and that will hit the Lucifer that he gets, because there's no other good target in this deck to really get. So he's probably going to activate Pitch Black Moon, get that pressure back, attack us. We're going to take it. We're not going to block. This is assuming he doesn't give it flying. Interesting. Yeah, that does work. He can do that for sure. Then if he plays the Prisha, what happens is we just kind of chump it, I believe. Let's see here. That card is pretty strong. We're gonna want to. We're gonna want to recast this thing. Recast that. I guess we want to tap our mana correctly. Just so we have this up and available. Okay, yeah, this is why I don't attack the Executioner, because he has Artemis Bow. That's right. We could get Dust Scythe back. Could have a Space-Time Anomaly up to kill the Prisha. And that wouldn't put us in Thunder range. He called Stone. He can Judgment for 4. Yeah, I think we just have to pass here. There's a lot of pressure that you can put on with just a Pitch Black Moon and Prisha and a bunch of Resonators in your deck. So here, if he has a Prisha in hand already, then we have to play around 2 Prishas coming down. If he calls Stone, he can play 2 Prishas. That costs 4, my friend. So here we're gonna draw. Let's see. What's the chance he has like a premonition in hand? I'm not sure, but we're gonna get it out of his hand if he has one. So we're gonna go ahead and thought seize him here. Because if he has a premonition, then I'm not gonna gain any life, and that's gonna be problematic. Okay, so he's got double thunder, demon flame, foment. I don't care about the foment here because my life is a little bit more important. I care about the demon flame. The thunders can go to my face, but if it's not lethal, then it's not lethal. So we're gonna get rid of the demon flame. We're going to attack him. Yeah, I think. Okay, so what happens if we attack him? We attack him. He doesn't have flying. We have to chump him, but he's probably gonna get in for 12. Yeah, we're gonna attack you then. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I did misplay there. I should have played the barrier then. Yeah. That's pretty good then. I wonder if I just lose this now. So I could chump. I could chump his next play here. Yeah. Okay, so I should. Yeah, I definitely should have played the barrier. Although he could play both thunders. This is a complete like misplay on my part. Jeez. No, I'm dumb. For some odd reason, I was thinking he was just gonna do this in Demon Flame, but then I completely forgot. I can take this out if I play the barrier. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of the thunder. And then here we're just gonna play another barrier, revealing my misplay here. Okay. So here we have to just chump his dude. That's unfortunate. If he drew a resonator, he can pitch Black Moon, get like a dude. So it costs him all the mana to do that. He's gonna get another pitch Black Moon from my deck, most likely. Okay. So one of the Lucifers is gonna go to my graveyard. And he's gonna get a pitch Black Moon. So here I can Thought Seize him again. All of this is like banking on him not having like a dude to get back his Prisha. But that is a safe bank, I'd say. So these are +4. He's at 16. Foment or Thunder? I think we hit the Thunder here. We have to hit the Thunder here. How many Thunders have we gone through? There's 3 Thunders that we've gone through. We pass here. Hope he doesn't have a way to... So he's at what, 16? We can kill his Gill Lapis with 2 Space-Time Anomalies and a block. So 16. Do we just do it once then? Well, there's several things we can do. We can flash in 0 and just sack the 0 off. Then the 0 dies, so we have to block with this, right? Yeah. Okay, so that dies. So we're gonna take 10, let's see. So we're gonna only take 6. Yeah. Draw for turn. Get ourselves another one of those. I think we can hang on. It depends on what he draws here. I think we might be able to hang on to this. Let's see if we play the Lora. How much do we need? We need 4. So we can't play Lora into Carmilla. Do we just flash in 0 and block? That seems like what we have to do. Flash in 0 and block. Yeah, flash in 0, block, and then double Space-Time Anomaly here if we can. I'm kind of curious what he's casting here. Okay. Yeah, so I think a couple misplays cost me that. Not playing that barrier. Well, I don't know. Playing the barrier might have done that. I think I can win this match, though. Death Scythe wasn't as good here. Harrows are clearly very good here. So, where's the Death Scythes? I'm gonna get Death Scythe out. We're gonna put another Harrow back in here. Harrows are very, very good here. Because he's playing, he relied on bows to get through that. So here, if we just bring in, what if we just bring in all 3 Harrow? Like, what is the chance of him actually having just like the Lev in hand? It doesn't seem like he's playing more than like 1 or 2 Levs, so I think having all 3 Harrows is probably better here. So we are on the draw games 1 and 2. We won game 1. Just hanging on through those pressures. So I think we can win this one. This version of the deck still has 2 Carmillas in it. I should have loaded deck, otherwise I'm not getting 4 stonings in this version. So this one, I think I can keep this actually. I think this is keepable, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna send one of these back. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. And of course, I hit this one. Always hit this one first for some reason. If I hit a Darkness Magic Stone, we're just golden. Completely golden. But I guess I'm not that lucky. It looks like he doesn't have Regalia in hand, though. But I guess he's just lucky enough not to hit the Ruler's Memoria. So here we're going to be able to set... We're going to be able to activate our Executioner this time. I'm going to go ahead and play a barrier. Like over here or something. And then we're going to set another Executioner. We now kill 2 Prishas in a row and have fodder for Nyarlathotep. I wonder what his regalia count is in this deck. But yeah, I'm gonna label this as like primogender, like mid-range. We're off to a pretty strong start though, and we were on the play, so definitely a lot of advantage to be seized here, just in tempo. End of turn, I probably flash in the 0 anyway. 0 is super good with Arthur though. Being able to -4 their board is pretty strong, to be honest. Okay, so he does have a Lev. Now I don't have any Death Sights in my deck, but he doesn't have a way to produce Moonwill here. So we're gonna go ahead and hit that. Let's see. I think we want to just put on the pressure, so we're just gonna go ahead and flash in a 0. Flash in 0. He doesn't have a pitch black moon in hand. He also has no way to judgment, so we're just gonna thought seize him. We start off super strong here. So he's got multiple Prishas in hand. Yeah, we're gonna hit a Prisha. Because unless he has the pitch black moon, he's not gonna get these back. Attack him for 10. Pass. So he's got thunders, he's got foments. He has a way to actually hit our 0, or he has a way to kill our 0, but 0 already got in for damage, so getting in 7 damage and exchanging it for thunder, I think I'm okay with that. Let's see what mana he taps here. He does tap correctly. So now he's out of Prishas. Unless he drops a pitch black moon. He doesn't have a way to judgment either, unless he plays the Moonbreeze Elf. If he plays the Moonbreeze Elf, we're killing it with Space-Time Anomaly. I don't want him to judgment on me. We're gonna leave this one up. Probably kill this thing. Yeah, that's what he's gonna kill. So there's that one. We're gonna attack for 5, 10, 20. Yeah. We're gonna get in a lot of damage here. Brings him down to 10. And I'm gonna be very surprised if he can win this game. Like, this deck on the play can be pretty nutty. Granted, did he miss one Ruler's Memoria? Okay, he did miss a Ruler's Memoria. So that contributes to part of it, but I think even if he did have a turn 2, we would have an extremely strong turn. He's gonna go to 18. He's got double Thunder mana up. There's another Foment, but I don't think it's something for us to be like super concerned about. Go ahead and set one of these things. So he's probably gonna double thunder my Executioners, which I feel good about because Executioners already killed 2 Precious, and so if it gets 2 more thunders out of his hand, then it's okay. So he's representing something like Feetsing. So here is 7. Here's another 7. Attack him for 12. So there's a Feetsing. Swinging for potentially lethal here. Yeah, so this does save him from lethal. But he's at a very precarious board state here. Just like if he was to play a pressure right now, it would die instantly. Like I would take 5, but it just instantly dies. So we're effectively out of pressure range simply because there's no way it can actually resolve or actually stay on the board. It'll resolve, but it wouldn't stay on the board. 2 Arthurs. His whole board is -4, unless he plays like a Darkness Resonator on me or something. And not many people are actually playing Darkness decks, so the Arthurs have been super good tech in this deck. I really like. After I started playing Arthur, like this deck has felt a lot better, especially when your executioners become 5/5s, and like your Nyarlathoteps are like 10/10s. It's really freaking sweet. So yeah, that's the match of Seer the Blue Moon control against Gill Lapis Midrange. Not sure what to call it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.